Oh man. The whole point is to share it on here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Embarrass the shit out of yourself.
Keep the conversation, as random as possible.
And you're doing a fine job on your end.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Stardom on JG's Lounge. This is our first attempt at this new streaming platform, EV Mux. Over the last about month and a half, we've been kind of testing other platforms, and I'm not mad with the last one we had, but it was just very tech savvy, and a lot of people couldn't figure it out. So I kind of just want to do away with it. There's a lot of buffering and glitchiness, and just work with us as we go. I do have a new show out now called Characters, where I go live on TikTok and talk to random people and ask them scenario-based questions. And then if they answer the question, I piece them together and make a full podcast episode. And it seems to be doing pretty good. So I'm pretty happy about that. Somebody who hasn't been on in a while, Shank, man, how the hell are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, it seems like it's been since last year. The ultimate dad joke.
Oh, that was
this
good.
Time of year. Yeah,
That's
man. It's been a minute, dude.
It has. You've been busy though, man. Between work and your shows and touring and everything, I'm just like, man, I don't know how you do it.
I'll tell you what. It was a running across the finish line. My tires were on fire. Going past the car, I'm skidding in sideways just to get to the end of the year because it was like this crazy thing where I was headlining clubs outside the country and around the Midwest. And on top of that, I was teaching 8 classes between 2 colleges and running a comedy club and just all this other stuff, man. And, trying to, have family and the holidays too, on top of everything else. I mean, that, it was a lot, man. It was a lot. And there were some days that I just slept.
Yeah, ours was mellow. I mean, we were mostly home, but it's because everybody was getting sick, man. Either I was sick or family was sick or everybody's getting sick, man. There's something going around. I don't even know what it is.
Well, I mean, it depends on what area of the world you're in, because if you're along the coast or in England, then it's the mystery fog. I don't know if you've seen that or the particulates. Oh, God, dude. What I don't know who is trying to eliminate the population, the Illuminati, Bilderberg, whatever. But man, like there was this mystery fog, and I encourage anybody that's watching, listening, go look it up, do your own research. But they were so many people. I have friends in England that I was messaging and saying, look, I know you guys are known for your fog, but I said, is it like everybody's describing with like the burnt, electrical smell and the chemical smell?
I have been hearing about that.
Okay. Yes. And my friends over there both acknowledged, like, yeah, this is unlike anything we've ever had, and we're all getting sick from it. And then you had people going outside and they would shine a flashlight into it. And it was like watching, if you've ever stirred up the muck underneath, or I'm sorry, if you've ever been, well, I've been on a lot of ghost hunts. And if you ever bump something dusty in an old house and you have a flashlight and the beam just fills with dust that's going all crazy, that's what the fog looked like everywhere in this country and there. And everybody that was smelling it was getting sick. And you can't tell me that is just, oh, it's just natural, just something happened, you're crazy. It's like, man, what is going on, dude?
We had the thunder snow here, and so I was Googling the rarest like weather phenomena, and thunder snow is like number 9 on the top 10 of like almost never happens.
Yes, sir.
And this weather storm that we got had several of them. And I'm like, damn, that is nuts. I didn't even know what it was.
If you were to do the math, if you were to break down the math on all of these crazy weather events that never happen, including the stuff that happened in Asheville and everywhere else,
Mhm.
with the flooding destroying North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, all those places, and the stuff that's happening to you guys, the probability markers are off the charts to the nth degree. And I was doing some research last night, and somebody was like, it's really odd that they have all these Doppler bursts or whatever. They show the energy patterns around the country, and the storm that looked like a massive wiener. Okay, I'm trying to keep it
Yeah,
clean.
I was going to make a funny clip on it and I just never did.
Yeah, one of my buddies who's an influencer had the weather map up, and he shrunk himself down and stood in front of it. And he just like raised his eyes, like, eh. But anyway, but these Doppler bursts, I'm just going to call them Doppler bursts because they've suggested it's HARP, it's blah blah blah, all things that they have proven exist, and the storm is tracking right along with it. And such an odd weather pattern to track through those parts of the nation. Because when I was looking at this, I mean, how much snow did you guys get down there?
So where I'm at, we got 16 inches.
I mean,
Yeah.
what?
The major Kansas City area got like 11 to 14. But there were spots that got 16. And we where we are, it was such a wind tunnel. So from the blizzard like conditions, I mean,
Mhm.
houses got piled with snow. Like it's like a third of the way up my car.
Oh my god, I'm glad you guys are okay, man. Because I
Yeah.
was I was worried about you and Pat, and
Mhm. Well, his dumbass decided to try to go to work. I mean, he
that's
made it. He's only so I'm 35 minutes away from work. He's 15. My drive home on Saturday when it started to ice took me an
mhm,
hour and 20 minutes. They had a whole exit ramp shut down from pileups. I mean, I was
right.
seeing 20 car pileups, semis jackknifed on the exit ramp. Like it was nuts. And my little tiny Honda Insight's like a Prius. And I made it home, but like I don't know how cuz I went opposite of my house because all the other ramps were closed down. And then you know how a lot of the intros or like the interstates have like those cops intersections and the mediums between the both sides of the highway.
Absolutely,
I,
yeah.
I found one of those and luckily it was gravel and I was like, oh, I'll get traction. So I cut through there, turned back around. I made it home, but man, it took my 35-minute drive was an hour and 10 minutes.
That's so crazy,
Yeah.
man. Look, I'm gonna say this. Like, I am all pro people working in small businesses, capitalism. As long as it is measured well. But this kind of weather, it's just not worth it. And if I had a place tell me that, and it's doing what it's doing where you're at, and they're like, no, you better come in, it's like, then you need to fire me because I'm
Right.
not risking my life for
Yeah.
this. I got, what was it, 5 years ago? I was a it was an executive position. I was like a corporate manager of some like communications for a company, and I was also running their customer service division. And it was when we had that cold snap where it was -50 in the
Ugh.
Midwest. And I told my people, stay home.
Yeah.
Like, I drove in because I had a really good car and I had a pretty clear path to work, and it was like straight highway, right? Um, but I got in a screaming match with the vice president of the company because I told the people not to come in, and he was like, "We're here, we're fine." I said, "Yeah, and we're nuts, dude. This is stupid." I said, "This is the kind of weather that can kill you." I said, "I was an EMT and I saw people with frostbite. I saw people frozen. All right,
Mhm.
you haven't. I know what it looks like. I know what this weather can do. It kills in minutes.
Yeah.
So no, they're not coming in."
Yeah, we were lucky enough to get like they basically did an excused. I mean, if you have like sick time or vacation time, you could use
Hmm.
it. But if you didn't have any time at all, it was still excused. Like if you
Oh,
can't,
good.
they literally shut down the interstates here. Like if you got to jump on the highway, it ain't happening because they're shut down.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, with for legit reasons too, because 16 inches isn't, dude. 8 inches is nothing to mess with, and that's I'm a Michigander.
Yeah, I know. This is the most we had in what they say since 2002, and they said some areas since 1912. Like that's how bad it was in some areas of Kansas City.
My God.
And I was like, "Damn, this is insane." And then we might get some more snow on Thursday, apparently. So we'll see.
Yeah, I heard. I've got a buddy that lives down in Tulsa, and
Mm,
he puts up weather broad, because he's a big tornado chaser type guy,
yeah,
and he's been putting up the forecasts and future models. And I saw the predictions, and I'm just like, God, dude, you guys already got hit, once. Once is enough.
it's thanks 2025. Let's go.
Oh, you you really want to go down this rabbit hole
Oh
because
my
it's not
god,
just the
that's
weather.
it's not just the weather. It seems like there's always major events whenever there's a change in presidents too.
Oh, I could drone on
let's
about
not
all the
let's not
things
do that
going
this
on.
episode though.
Oh, I know we have other stuff to do.
Mm. Although we should do a blurred line soon, and then a singed eye sockets.
Dude, the
Probably in the
Singe
next
for
like two
sure.
weeks.
Yeah, the Singe for
Yeah.
sure, because you've brought up a couple
Mm.
good topics. But I'll tell
Yeah.
you what,
I don't know a lot of people that are going to be. I don't know if Evolution will want to do it because I don't think he's not very uh, involved in the whole. He doesn't know much about Dante's Inferno. I know enough, and I think there's a lot of people that do know of Dante's Inferno, but they don't know the depths of it. And I kind of know enough to where like I could do a little bit of research and get caught up, and it won't take me long. Um,
well,
I don't know
it's
how
more
much you know.
about knowing the characters and
Mhm.
the purgatories and the unbaptized babies and the stuff that's really messed up. Uh, and the characters King Minos and Archeon, and the ferryman. I'll tell you, and I did message you about this, but anybody that's watching this, listening to this, now it is 6 hours of your time. I'm just going to tell you right now, but one of the most beautifully created, crafted, written, everything games that has ever been created is called Dante's Inferno,
Yeah,
and it follows the story of this guy who basically betrayed his lady love during the Crusades, Beatrice, and he essentially fights his way through hell through the levels of Dante's Inferno,
mm,
and the poet Virgil, right? Uh,
yeah.
Virgil is his ghostly guide through every level, and it is crazy how beautiful and scary and terrifying the entirety of it is. But what a beautiful story, and it's a great way to educate yourself on the basically the trappings of Dante's
Yeah.
the different levels and things through
Well, and if you, the more you know about like Dante, the story of Dante's background and like kind of why he even wrote about it, it plays a lot into it. So it actually kind of smacks in the face a lot of religion too. When you really kind of debunk each of these circles, because a lot of it is related to life experiences and people in his real life that he
yes,
had hatred towards. So
yeah.
it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one.
It
It
was,
will.
it was him writing a book like screw this guy and screw that.
Literally, he's in hell. He's in hell. But
Yeah,
it's good. It is really good.
yeah, for sure.
All right. All right, so for tonight, this being our first round on EV Mux, so far I'm pretty impressed. This is my first time jumping on here with a guest, and I haven't seemed to have had any issues. So I'm happy so far. We're gonna do 10 would you rather's.
Sweet.
Let's get this first one going here. Would you rather have all traffic lights you approach be green or never have to stand in line again?
Okay, this is so crazy, but I know the answer to this.
Okay.
What do you want to go first though?
I'll
Because
go
maybe
first.
I'm too
I'll
quick.
go first. I actually I always leave my house early enough to get to work so I can sit and chill in the parking lot. Stoplights don't bother me. Standing in line pisses me off. I get irritated real easy. I don't mind stoplights. So for me, I would be fine with the never having to stand in line again.
Okay. See, and this I'm the complete opposite here, and mine's a bit weird. See, to me, it's almost magical when you hit every green light. Um, I don't know. It feels like almost like privilege, right?
I do agree with that.
But I don't mind standing in line, and I'll tell you why. Two things. One, I love to people watch. I like to look at individuals, not in a creepy like, hey, kind of that way, but just looking at them and trying to deduce what their life is about, and just figure them out by the way they carry themselves, the way they dress, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. And also, standing in line gives me a lot of time to think, right? Because I'm so goddamn busy all the time, and my brain is always on this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. And when I'm standing in line, I have to be there for whatever the reason is. So it's time where my brain is like, okay, let's think.
Okay. That's good. That makes sense. I think it would depend though. Like if I'm like going to the DMV,
Nah,
that is probably the only place where standing in line really irritates me.
yeah.
Mostly because the people who are there are already irritated and having to deal with that crowd.
I was
That
about to say
that's
they're monsters, dude. Let's not.
it is. And then like you're waiting in line forever and then half the people go up there, they don't have the right documentation, and then they get pissed off at the people behind the counter like it's their fault. And it's
Yeah,
just it gets irritating very quick.
yeah, yeah. I think the DMV, with the exception of like billionaires, is the great equalizer because everybody has to go there to get their damn licenses and things like that. And the reprobates that show up
Hmm.
there, and it's oh
Some
my
of it's comical. Some of it's worse than Walmart.
dude, my brain is. I think I saw a guy in a clown costume there one time too, if I'm not
At the
mistaken. But
DMV.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's good. That's good.
yeah.
It's
And
funny.
and I'll tell you though, is like we are blessed in the state of Indiana because of Mitch Daniels. He did a complete revamp of the BMVs because they were so terrible, and
Mhm.
now they're some of the best in the country. Like literally, you can walk in and you're getting service within minutes, and
Okay.
they are taking care of. Yeah, dude, it is so much better than it used to be.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I hate the DMV. All right. Next up, would you rather wrestle a bear or an alligator? I feel like that's a pretty tough one.
Uh, mm, I'm a pretty tough guy.
Yeah.
But the thing with a bear is, have you seen their claws when they're
Yes,
fully,
they literally will rip you open. I mean, it's
dude, they are murderers. I mean, with an alligator, at least if you can get behind, I know they'll do the death roll, right?
yes.
But give them some of the rear naked choke, right?
I feel like they have their weak spots, like you said, getting behind them. I feel like with a bear, there's not so much the weaks. Like they move too quick for you to really get to a position where they don't see you.
Well, and the sheer size of those motherfuckers, like they are huge. Like the sheer strength that those things have,
Yes.
right? It would I would feel like I would have at least the slimmest of chances with an alligator.
Yes.
I would have to find wherever the bear's nuts are to kick them. Do you want me to like have any? And if it's a girl bear, forget about it.
Well, and at least and with an alligator, I mean, you just have to avoid getting really bitten because once they bite apart,
Oh yeah,
like they latch on, you're pretty much fucked
yeah,
unless you're willing to lose a limb or whatever to get away.
right.
But you're pretty much fucked. Now a bear, I mean, you're basically in a boxing match with somebody who doesn't give a shit about you and will tear you to shreds.
Now wait, here's okay. Here's an addition to the question. Then, what if it was? Would you rather wrestle a bear in water or an alligator on
I
land?
would take a bear on in water if it was deep enough to where, because I don't think they could swim very well, and even if they were swimming, they'd probably be more focused on that than you.
Yeah, that would be tough. Because here's the thing: an alligator in water is, to me, would be 1,000 times more dangerous if on land, right? Because
Right.
on land you could like probably make some moves,
Right.
but in water, like you said, if they get a hold of you, forget about it. They're going to death roll you, take you down to the bottom. Like if you know
Mhm.
anything about how alligators operate, dude, it is freaking scary
Yeah.
what they do and how they kill.
Yeah. I definitely think I would rather the alligator. I agree with you on that one. So
But the bears, they're so cuddly. They just look like like you're just like, wait, give me a hug.
it is, isn't it certain bears too? Because they have like there's bears that are tiny they would fight you, but I think they're more scared of you than anything.
There, okay, so oh my god, there is a rule with it too. Like,
I think black is it black bears? Are those the tiny ones that climb trees?
yes, but
Yes.
there's certain ones where like you spread your arms and you stand your ground. That might be the black bear, and then with the brown bears, I think those are the ones where you're supposed to just lay down on the ground and just curl up and play dead, so they get like disamused with you.
Yeah.
That's the word.
They get bored.
Yeah,
All right, next up.
interesting.
Would you rather be trapped in a small room with 10,000 tarantulas for 10 minutes or eat 10 tarantulas in 10 minutes?
Okay, first of all, do you know they shoot their hair like
uh
spines? Yes, they do. All right. If they weren't scary enough as it is, so oh man. Now let me ask you this: if I had to eat 10 in 10 minutes, are they prepared? Like because
See,
some
and
people do cook them.
that's the thing is like if it was dead and I didn't have to fight it, I don't think if it was if it wouldn't matter if it was prepared. If it was that between the in the room with 10,000, I would rather eat 10 dead ones or
Yeah,
prepared. I mean, I could do prepared. I've eaten prepared crickets and mealworms and all that shit. Like that doesn't bug me so much. Um,
that's it.
but at the same time, most tarantulas aren't like they don't harm you, right?
10,000.
T-
10,000.
My problem is I would step on one and piss one off. Like that's the thing.
Mm.
I think if you could sit still for 10 minutes and just sit there, but I couldn't do it. I'm sure there's people out there that could, but if you
Mm.
could just sit on the floor for 10 minutes in that room and just let them do what they do, I don't think they would harm you.
I know, but just picture one crawling up the side of
I
your
can,
face and being
that's
like,
see, and I can't picture that.
like in your
I
ear.
know what I would do, and I would get killed. I would be eaten alive by these damn tarantulas.
Because
Somebody would
there's
find me covered in cobwebs.
right, because there's a point where you just be like, whoa, like you would flip out. I'm sorry, like
You would. There's no way you
10,000.
would. I could eat the 10. I would eat the 10.
If I were forced, like you only have two choices, and there's no way out of the choices,
Mhm.
I would eat the 10.
Yeah. Now you said prepared. What would be best prepared for you to be like, yeah, hell yeah, bring on the 10. How would you want them prepared?
I mean, to be honest with you, if they were gutted and stuffed with like sausage and jalapeno and deep fried, I'd give that a shot.
I'd air fry them and make like some sort of a dip out of it. Some like buffalo cream cheese dip or something to eat it
Yeah,
with. That'd be
you
good.
take the abdomen and scoop it like a chip. Uh, uh,
That'd be the best idea, though, man. I don't know.
well, and I will
I
tell
don't
you,
have a. I don't really have a fear of spiders, though. But 10,000 of them in a room is. I don't care who you are. That's terrifying.
that's so just the number, it would be suffocating. Not to mention the fact, depending on the size of the room. Now, see, that's one of the X factors we're not talking about because we're just picturing like a smallish room.
Yeah.
If it was like a pole barn or it's just one big room, fuck, I'll just
Yeah.
stand in one corner and wait, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're in just like a normal sized room, 11 by 17, the sheer volume and the heat coming from them. I mean, that's how bees kill predators that come into their hives. They surround them and vibrate and raise their heat level and basically suffocate them and raise their temperature where they cook them to death.
Right.
So I mean, God, you're talking about there are so many factors that go beyond the ick factor of spiders. You
Right.
know,
Yes.
um,
And the crawling, like the crawling on you, and just knowing that if you do anything that makes them feel threatened, then you're fucked.
just I mean, and it's
Yes. I don't mind. I could sit, but I know that as soon as they hit a certain spot or just something, I would freak out. Like it's just that there's no question. There's 10,000 of them. They're going to be crawling on certain areas of the body. I just don't want them at.
what if they touched your nose? Like it's bad enough, you've had nose hair before,
I have nose hair.
you have nose hair, right? Or your mustache and it curls up and hits that just your nostril and you're doing this thing. Imagine you had a thing going like this, right?
Uh-huh.
And that hair brushed up right on your nose and you want to
Mhm.
sneeze and you want to brush it away and everything else, but you can't because
Yep.
please.
Couldn't do it. I'll eat them. Bring it on. Don't want a plate. All right, another one. Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
A horse-sized duck. Horses. Okay, see, horses are fucking massive. All right,
Yeah,
so this is a thing where if you're a city kid, you don't have a comprehension of how big a horse is. It's just like when we see mooses, moose out in the wild. People are like, "Holy shit, that thing's the size of a small house." Yeah, because we pay too much attention to TV and things, and we think everything's just little.
right.
Horses are massive, right? And the there are like turkeys, and I'll explain what I'm thinking here. A turkey, its wings are strong enough, and I think there are a couple other birds like albatross, which are massive, that if they hit your arm just right, they could break your arm with their wing. They're so big and strong, right? So
Right.
now you've got a horse-sized duck with a wingspan, and they can fly. So now you've got uh, a horse-sized duck. Yeah. So now you've got this flying gigantic duck that is pissed off at you with a beak that can shred you.
Read you in it. Yep.
Right. Okay.
I think I'll say my keep going.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like there are too many there are too many factors with the horse-sized duck that
Mhm.
make it super dangerous. But man, I will fuck up 100 duck-sized horses.
I would go to town. I would actually probably enjoy that. I'm gonna be honest. If I was in a room with 100 horse-sized ducks or duck-sized horses, I think it not only would be comical, but when they bit you, it would probably be like getting a bee sting, because they have. I mean, they full-size horses hurt like hell when they bite you,
Yes, sir.
but if they're the size of a duck, it would probably be more like getting hit with like a pellet gun or like something. It wouldn't hurt as bad as getting bit by a massive ass duck.
Right. Well, and I mean, like a massive duck can like burst through doorways and things like that.
Mhm.
You've got 100 duck-sized horses, man. Like you just kick your feet out. You're gonna clear out 5 or 6 of them per kick.
And by the way, I'm probably not gonna fight them. I'm gonna load them up into little like containers and sell those fuckers.
Dude, see, now you're thinking, right?
So many people would want a cute little duck-sized horse. I'm telling you.
Dude, if you were on Shark Tank right now, Mark Cuban would be like, I want 25% of your duck-sized horse business.
Let's go.
I would. It would be really hard for me not to reach down and grab one by the back and just pick it up, and its little hooves and
Yeah.
legs are kicking and stuff, and just to hug it. It would be so hard not to do that.
Yeah, ducks piss me off too. I mean, ducks really aren't that pleasant to be around. One massive ass duck, I'd just want. I'd want to kill it. I don't know.
Well, okay. let's put it to you this way, Jukebox.
Uh-huh.
Put yourself in that scenario. All right.
Hmm.
It's you, you're out in the open. All
Yeah.
right. And I'll even give you like a baseball bat. Okay. Because
Right.
it's got the bill and the size. You've got a baseball bat. What is your plan of attack with a massive duck that is coming at you?
I don't a baseball bat. I wouldn't be my plan of attack. It would be like a gun. I with a bat. I mean, what are you gonna do? Hit his beak? Well, probably that size of a duck. It probably wouldn't do much damage to the beak.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because if I'm just going like fisticuffs with the horse-sized duck, I picture like, you know, taking a swing and clocking it, and it's like, what would that really do except for piss it off?
Right. It would just get more irritated.
Yeah,
Now, in the outcome that you were to kill the horse-sized duck, that would be a hell of a meal.
dude.
That would be a hell of a meal. But the fighting it part isn't worth it.
Come in battered and bruised, dragging it into the Chinese restaurant.
Duck I would like a duck à l'orange, please.
Oh my god! And duck fat fries for everyone.
For everyone on the house. I'm feeding everyone with this thing. That would be a story to tell, and people would look at you like you're the baddest motherfucker in the world.
Well, of course. Last week I fist fought a bear.
Yeah.
Okay, in the water.
Right. While the alligator was, watching from a distance.
It's like I ain't going in there as a bear.
I think in explaining that to people would probably be tough too. I think the 100-sized duck-sized horses, if
Mhm.
you were to explain to somebody that you fought that, they would want to throw you in a loony bin. Now, I feel like with the ducks or the horse-sized duck, you're probably going to be out in public, and there's probably going to be witnesses. So you're going to look a lot more badass fighting that thing. But if I'm going for chances of survival, I would much rather deal with the horses.
Well, and the other thing too is you're also going to have to deal with public outrage with the 100 duck-sized horses because you're going to have PETA people after you. All these white soccer moms who are pissed off because, like, oh my god, they were so cute. Oh, they fits us up, and you stomped on all of them. We
One of
heard
them
you
was my
crying.
chihuahua. I was just taking it for a walk. That's too good. All right, next up. Would you rather know all the secrets of space or know all the secrets of the ocean? That's a scary one, in my opinion. Both options.
I don't know
I,
if you want my answer because you're going to tell me, well, we should save that for blurred lines.
I mean, we can, but we can still talk about it for a few minutes.
Okay.
I see people tuning in, so if you guys got any comments, throw them out there. We'll throw them in there in the mix.
Okay. So first of all, it this is so tough for me because you know what my opinion is
Mhm.
on the moon landing, but
Yeah,
with the government just recently saying, "Oh yeah, there's aliens, and
yeah,
they come from the ocean for millennia." Oh, and by the way,
yeah.
we've only explored 5 to 10% of the ocean. Have you seen
Right.
any of the footage from the Mariana Trench? And the
It's terrifying enough.
dude, have you seen anglerfish? Do you know how big
The
those motherfuckers actually
Yes,
are?
they're massive.
They're
They're
huge.
huge, and that's nothing. Now they're having like these like eel like fish wash ashore too.
I know
From
what you
deep down. Have you seen those
I
too?
have seen those. I've seen those. I've seen the oarfish that are
Yep.
showing up, which are
Yep.
precursors to natural disasters. So that's fucking terrifying.
Yep. I
Um,
think that's over on the West Coast.
well, dude, even fucking sperm whales are
Yeah.
terrifying. Not just because of their sheer size, but they don't have upper teeth. You know what they
Yes.
have?
What?
Teeth holes. If you've ever seen, they have like the lower jaw with the teeth, and it just goes up
Uh,
into their teeth holes. It's creepy as fuck, dude.
that is creepy.
Ugh.
I don't. So I think I would have a quicker way of instant death if I was in space and I could at least see something coming. So I think, well, if I'm just knowing the secrets of it, I would much rather know about space than I would about the ocean. Because I live here on this planet, I would
Oh,
be too terrified to know what really is down that far. And because of how deep the ocean is in spots, and you've seen like some of those movies like Megalodon and stuff where there's like this layer of like a foggy film before they hit different layers. Like that stuff's real because I've seen footage of that stuff. Actually, it is real. And then once you tap down into that, what's there?
yeah. There are layers to the ocean that we've not even well that we know of that we haven't gone through.
Because we don't have the enough technology that can withstand that
Well,
pressure, right? Or is it what they
true.
say?
What they say, but there have also been, folks that have found like black water on the bottom of the ocean and they're like, hey, this is weird. And then those people get disappeared, which is creepy. But if you're just talking about secrets, I think space would be, I would much rather know about the secrets of space.
Yeah.
Um, however, the reality of it is, because I think the vastness of it and just what is out there would be incredibly cool.
Well, and I don't know how you feel about like aliens, but my interpretations of aliens and extraterrestrial beings and advanced like life forms compared to what's potentially down in the ocean, I think of monsters or aliens. I would much rather have confrontation with an alien race than what could potentially be down that deep in the ocean.
Well, I think we're dealing with a part of psychology, which is thalassophobia, which is the fear of open water and what's underneath and the deep and all that shit.
Mm.
And that's terrifying. Now, if you remove the water aspect of it, and just made them where they were creatures that were just roaming around on land, still terrifying. Still terrifying, dude. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, man, the stuff that's down there is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, we know it is because just what we have seen is terrifying, and we haven't seen much.
Mm.
And
Well,
scientists even talk about like what we haven't reached
mhm.
can hold life form. Like they're not denying it, which makes it even more terrifying.
It's horrifying. The stuff that we have no conception of, is it's like creatures that have bioluminescence and things. There's so much that is out there that is crazy. Octopuses,
Mm,
octopus.
yeah,
Scientists have literally said, you know what? They're aliens. Their DNA is confusing and matches nothing on Earth. They're
mm,
aliens. So we basically got aliens that we knew of before the government announcement happened. It's terrifying, right?
right.
Um,
You've
I
heard of the Lake Vostok monster, right? It's
What does that sound?
it's rumor. It might not potentially be true, which it's probably not, but it could. There is a Lake Vostok in Russia that is a
Mhm,
completely frozen lake, and there is actual water underneath there. And apparently, they drilled down into the lake
mhm,
and sent some divers down there, and they came across what was a squid-like creature that literally paralyzed the victim and like it made them hallucinate and envision it as something else as it approached them, and then literally with its tentacles just ripped them into shreds. Now it's rumor that it's not true, but I think even if it wasn't, I think that that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with. What we don't know, you
right.
know.
Well, that's like any of the cryptids that are out there that are terrifying. I mean, if you want to compare it to land-based things, you're talking like chupacabra and the wendigo and things of that nature that are on land that are terrifying. But now you're putting this into a different arena, which is water, which we can't breathe underwater, so that makes
Yes.
it scarier to deal with,
Right.
and we can't swim well, right? So that adds to the layers of it. We are hopelessly under uh, ill equipped to deal with anything underwater.
They should totally do like a water world mashup with some sort of a crazy sea creature. They should bring water world back, but have a sea creature be involved and have him fight the sea creature.
Yeah, because he has underwater abilities.
Yes. He had the gills and the fin
Yep.
toes and the was that Kevin Costner?
That was Kevin
That
Costner.
was
Yeah.
Kevin. Great movie, by the way. If you guys haven't seen Waterworld, I know some people watch this that probably have never heard of it. It's a good movie. I recommend checking it out.
Yeah, they eviscerated the movie, and I mean there were some parts of it like the smokers and things that they were trying to make. There was messaging within the movie
Yeah.
about addiction and environmental stuff, blah blah blah. But
Blah
I
blah.
think
Yeah.
overall Hopper and Costner did well. It's just they were so torqued because it was the first movie that, what was it, it cost 250 million to make, and was the first one ever did that, and they were losing their shit about it. It's like now there are movies that vastly blow that budget out of
Yes,
the
out
water.
of the water.
Yeah,
But they didn't have social media to blow it up back then either. So,
right,
All
right.
right, let's get on to the next one.
Sure.
Would you rather be an unknown superhero or a famous villain?
Unknown superhero. I don't like hurting people.
I would want to be a villain, but not for hurting people. I'd want it to be more like stealing from the rich and giving to the poor kind of thing, kind of like a Robin Hood kind of villain. Because I don't really think, because I consider Robin Hood more of a villain because he's stealing. I mean, what he's doing is a crime, but I feel like you could be a villain and do good things with what you're doing.
Okay,
But
so
it depends on what your term of a hero is too, because then that could turn around to be, considered a hero.
well, okay. So when you put it like that, and we're talking anti-heroes, then
Yeah,
um, I really like the concept of Black Adam, the one that Rock played,
yeah. That's a
because
good one.
he gives no shits, and like people that, I'm sorry, I think frankly deserve death, and he is like, I have no problem smoking these fools.
Yes,
I'm more in that, because when I say I don't want to hurt people, I don't want to hurt good people.
right,
And villains, typically, when you're talking that archetype, they don't care if
right.
they're hurting, right? But if you're talking about somebody that doesn't have like the rules that a Batman has, and will
Yeah.
just like push a guy off a roof because he's a rapist and be like, "Have a nice flight," you
Yes.
know.
So, and that's where I say, like, and especially in today's world, like with so many of these, like far right, far left, this, that, like what's good, what's bad. I feel like a hero can easily be depicted as a villain, depending on what they're doing.
Yeah, they do that. They do that now with people that are
Yeah.
doing good things, but
Mm.
because they're on the opposite, of whatever the label is. Yeah, absolutely, dude. I 100%
Yeah.
agree with you.
So I think I'd go with the villain. But I would want to be kind of like the infamous, like villain that nobody really knows who they are, and ultimately do good, but potentially cause. I'd be like the Hitch of
Uh,
superheroes that people would
yeah.
be pissed off because I caused so much damage, but ultimately I'd be doing good. But like I feel like Hitch could easily be considered a villain as much as he could be called a hero.
No, absolutely. But the thing is, it's like when you pull yourself back from
Not Hitch. What,
what
what was it? Hitch?
Hancock.
Hancock. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Hancock.
We knew.
Yeah.
Um, when you pull yourself back and give it the 30,000 foot perspective, you have understanding for why he is the way he is. And
Uh
it's
huh.
like, yeah, okay, so maybe you don't like his methodologies, but you know what? When you take a lampshade and turn it into a ninja star, and cut a dude's hand off so he doesn't hurt people,
Uh,
bro, all day long,
I'll do-
all day long.
like that's the kind of stuff I'd probably end up doing. It'd
Yeah,
be like wake up like God damn it again.
yeah,
And then you go out there all pissed off, like you're really, dude. I had plans today. Like I can't. Why are we doing it?
yeah,
Breaking cars, ripping billboard signs, just like causing damage while I'm fixing it.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and the thing is, like, I would have, if there were somebody that stole millions from old people and was one of those scammers, like I would have no problem just flying over, grabbing them by the throat, and throw them into the sun. But just I want to make sure that they would televise it, because then it's like, okay, I would have a camera crew following me around, and I would throw enough people into the sun where it's like, if you do bad things like this, I will throw you into the sun, and I will keep throwing people into the sun until you guys stop doing this kind of bad stuff. I don't care if you're going to be an asshole in the world. The world's full of them,
right,
but don't hurt people,
right,
because then I will throw you into the sun.
right.
There's no in
And
between.
that's the ultimate one. I think so. I mean, it's and that's where the Hancock one kind of comes into play, where it's like he doesn't care about bringing them to justice. He just wants to eliminate them
Yeah.
from the picture, which
Yep.
in my mind I'm fine with that. Like, yeah. So I don't know.
Shit. I guess I guess I changed my perspective on it. Like, yeah, I'd fuck up a motherfucker that was
Yeah,
evil. Excuse my language. Sorry,
yeah.
everybody.
I think because then then you got what's his name, the guy who's like trying to fix him, the actor,
Oh,
Jay
Jason Bateman's
Jason
character.
Bateman.
Yeah.
His character is to try to fix Hitch or Hancock to be better, and like that's the thing where it's like does yeah, he's got an alcohol problem, but besides that I don't really think he's doing anything wrong in my opinion. Like he's just dealing with the bad guys in his way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
He's
oh,
not
you
going
need,
to robbing banks or anything.
yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it's just, well, it's like, in the movie The Mask, and this is dipping back into what the early 90s, with those mechanics that were ripping everybody off, and then Stanley Ipkiss turns into the Mask and goes in and shoves mufflers up their asses, right?
Right.
The entire exhaust system up their asses.
Yes.
And they're getting wheeled out on stretchers with these exhaust
Yeah.
systems sticking
That's
out.
yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
and he is kind of a and he's a thief. I mean, the masks took all that money
yep.
out of the bank.
He's a thief. He's a lech. He is all these things, but it's like the people. Here's the thing: you and I are doing this right now.
Uh-huh.
We identify because we feel like the Stanley Ipkiss in a world that makes you feel helpless a lot of times,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden now you have these powers and the retribution that you will pour upon the world, right?
Mhm.
Because we all have these thoughts. If I just had my way, I would just
Yeah.
do this, and I would do this, and I would bring righteous justice upon, you know, yeah, dude.
Yes. And that's the perfect example. If anybody even listening to this had the opportunity to have a power, not superhero or villain, we're talking about a power, and you could use it, how are you going to use it? And in your mind, is it to be better or be worse? Because it might not necessarily be villainous, but people will probably see that way.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. um, I think banks are evil as hell, and we can go into the whole Federal Reserve
Yeah.
discussion, all this other
Yeah.
stuff. I would have no problem. Here's the thing: I would steal a shitload of money, make sure my family was taken care of, and make
Mhm.
sure a bunch of charities had a lot of money, right? And I'd be like the superhero slash villain, and be like, "What the fuck you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Right.
Nothing,
Because
right?
you can't.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't. But I know. Damn, dude. Yeah, man. I would be fucking bad guys up, and I mean bad. I really would, and I wouldn't lose a
Yeah.
wink of sleep over it.
Especially because I would, if I had Hancock's type powers,
Hmm.
I would go and deal with the worst of the worst. Like I would have no problem going to these mafias and like these gangs bosses and like just laying them out. I would have no problem doing that. and I wouldn't even blink over it. I'd just do it.
Jukebox, you wouldn't sit down with him and go, "Did you have a rough childhood? Did you not get enough hugs from
I
from
have a perfect shrink for you. Let me just give you their number.
have the perfect streak?" But he's in Oakland, and you just throw him like a football through the walls. If you survive, you get therapy.
There you go. Oh, that's
Oh,
my answer, guys. That's my answer.
nice. That's
All right.
awesome.
Next up. Would you rather have your thumbs replaced with your big toes or have your ring pinky fingers replaced with your pinky toes? I don't know how much of a difference that would make.
I mean,
Well, the pinky toe is
that's
very
what you're working
freaking.
with,
The pinky toe is a nub.
right? So this is what you're working with in that
Yeah.
scenario.
And then the thumb, like, and the big toe are similar.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, it's. I mean, you'd have a little bit maybe more dexterity with it.
Yeah, I think you might have a little bit more strength in your big toe than you
Yeah,
would in your.
that's a weird
I
one.
that is a weird one. I think I didn't really read them. I just kind of picked them. I think I would do the toes, the big toes.
Yeah,
It'd be
yeah,
less noticeable, and probably if anything benefit me.
right.
I don't know how it would affect my feet though.
Probably make you better at climbing. I'm guessing. I don't know,
A
dude.
little bit more flexible.
Yeah, I think this one would be detrimental just because simply
It's
the grip when you're
uh,
grabbing stuff. It's one of those things.
and having a pinky finger on your for your pinky toe. I mean, that's gonna be the longest of all of your toes.
Yeah,
It's gonna throw your balance off. It's not gonna
'cause
fit in a shoe properly. Yeah, I
you
don't think I could do the pinky
have
finger
your
on my
ring
foot.
pinky fingers replaced. Yeah, no, I would go with the toe thing,
Yeah,
the big toe.
I
That's
agree. That wasn't that great of one. I'm gonna be honest. It's
it's
weird.
okay. Well,
It's
I
more
mean,
weird than anything.
it's all right, dude. It's not a bad question. It's just a question where you're just like kind of going, I already know what I do. Yeah.
All right, this is an interesting one. Would you rather get a paper cut between your fingers every time you turn a page, or bite your tongue every time you eat something?
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
I think I'd rather bite my tongue.
oh.
Paper. Uh,
Okay. Here's the thing. You can. You have to eat to survive.
right.
You can get a Kindle,
Uh-huh.
right?
You could get a Kindle. That's good.
This is coming from an author who
That's
loves
good.
books. I love
Yeah.
reading. But man, if I knew like for the rest of my life that I were sentenced, so to speak, to like every turn, like
Turn of a page. Yeah,
that is so painful. But if
it
you
is.
have to eat to live, and unless you want to eat pureed food for the rest of your life,
And actually, the tongue isn't that bad. When you bite your cheek, that's the worst. Like I've bit my cheek trying to eat food, and that sucks so bad.
yeah, it does. But
The paper cut thing though, like when the hardest part is when you know it's coming, and you can like just during the cut, you can feel it. Like it like makes you kind of just on
mm,
top of the pain side of it.
you're I don't know if you can tell you're making me fidgety here
Yeah,
with this
me
one.
too.
It's a rough one.
Paper cuts suck.
They do, but and it says between your fingers, so it's talking about the web, dude.
Yes, yes.
Conceptually, like, do you understand how bad? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that are watching. How bad that is,
That'd be so
right
tough.
here,
I can do
and
it.
then you could see the little split where the
Yep. And every time, like, so no matter what, it's happening to one of your fingers, in between one of your fingers. That's tough. I would much rather, and maybe I would go back to, I would just go to eating soup. I will drink soup through a straw. I'll be
okay,
just fine.
okay, it
Ah,
is.
that's tough. No, I definitely, I mean, the question's not tough. I would go with the tongue all day. that paper cut is just. Mm-mm.
That's still
I'd
the
rather do. I'd rather fight a bear than get paper cuts every time I turn the page.
yeah. And I mean, literally, if you think about how many times you touch pages
Mm-hmm.
throughout a day, not even thinking about it, but copies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Coupons in the mail. Come on, you
Yep.
go through your newspaper, news.
Absolutely. You open it, you pull the page out to look at it. There's a second page. You do
Yeah.
this. Yeah, man.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Nope. No, thank you.
All right. Next up. Let's see. Get rid of this. What's that? Get out of here. Get out of here. What's that? Okay. Would you rather never be able to open a closed door or never be able to close an open door?
Actually, I have a very logical answer for this.
Okay.
What do you think?
I would rather just not be able to close it.
Why?
I will, because first off, I think you'd look ridiculous trying to open a closed door and knowing that you can't open it. But you have windows. There's windows. I mean, but if the doors are just always open, then I don't have to worry about it. I have to worry about people coming to my house.
Right.
But I think I'd rather just not have to dealing with a closed door.
Yeah. So, all right. So there are different layers to this. I think if we could look at it, it's like if it's just one single door, just leave the damn thing open and put up another door.
Yeah.
That simple. A door in the door.
If
Right.
it's like specific to a door.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if this is a situation where you can never open any doors, you're talking about uh, being hampered from travel and freedom of movement to having complete freedom, but yet there's danger in it, from weather and people coming in.
I didn't even think about like car doors and stuff.
Yeah,
If I could never close a car door, that'd be rough.
it in our modern society, this seems like an almost impossible question because either it's you're messing with your safety either way,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you get a Jeep. Get you just replace all of your doors with like tent doors, just zippers. Everything's zipped up and just.
Oh, you know what? Even better. You know those magnetic zip ones, like the mosquito screen type
Oh
doors.
yeah, they just like attach.
Yeah. All right, solve that one.
I would never feel safe again, but yeah, sure. I'll go with that.
I mean, it's either that or like you're crawling in and out of windows every day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to feel like a teenager trying to escape to go out for the night. I just with everything I do.
Yeah, or like the Dukes of Hazard with your car, and like, oh, that jukebox is in trouble again.
Going to work, climbing through the side window.
Sliding
God, that'd
across
be
your head.
terrible. No, I mean, I think never a closed door. I mean, that's the only thing. The problem is there's going to be too many times when you run into a closed door. Way too many times in life where you're going to have a closed door that you're just not going to be able to open.
Not to mention, well, here's the, yeah,
Thanks for tuning in, people. Thanks for watching.
yeah, closed doors all the time. But dude, what about when you're shitting?
I don't actually. If I'm in my house, I usually crap with the door open. I'm just being honest.
That's fine. But if I am at, say, I don't know, Starbucks, they typically only have the single toilet, like you lock the door because it's the
Yeah.
only toilet in the thing. No, sir. The doors have to be open. So now you're just shitting, going, hey, yep, you enjoying your latte? Me too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just pooping here. So
It's fine. It's no big deal. I could explain it to you, but you wouldn't understand. Just
if you want me to
go about
close
your
this
business.
door, you can try.
Can you actually grab me some toilet paper for the next stall? I'm out.
No.
All right, we got one more here.
All right.
Would you rather face your biggest fear or spend one night in a landfill? I don't think that's that hard.
That doesn't That's not
No.
even dude. I used to go
There's
to
no competition. I was gonna say I can go there. I would leave with things.
yeah, no shit. That's what I was just gonna say. My dad and I used to go to pick and pulls all the time when I was a kid to get parts for the cars. I'd
Yeah.
be grabbing shit and be like, "Hey, can I have this?" I mean,
Yeah. Nah, I
so,
could easily go to a landfill.
yeah,
People throw shit away all the time. Smell bad, but that's all.
yeah, I can wash it, dude. This is a question that any redneck would be like,
That
"Fuck
was the
this."
dumbest. Yeah, that's the dumbest. That's definitely not that great of a question, guys. Sorry. Um, but I've done dumpster divings. You go dumpster diving behind like those strip malls where they have a bunch of stores, or like a lot of those places where they donate or like auctions. Auctions dump crap all the time that they
Oh my
can't
god, yeah,
sell. There's
dude.
so many things you can collect out of dumpsters.
Hobby Lobby and Michaels. Are you kidding me? They toss
Mhm,
crap all the time.
mhm,
Arts and crafts, all kinds of stuff. It's and I
mhm.
mean brand new in the box.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I would totally spend a night in a landfill, take a shower, and I would take my two giraffe
I
cans.
would come back with stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy. That's an easy answer. Easy
Yeah,
answer for sure. All right, man. Well, hey, I gotta say, being a new platform, that was pretty easy. That was not difficult at all.
yeah, man. It's I mean, except for the little Eve Mux,
Yeah.
Is
Well,
it?
and like I said, that's something where we could pay if we felt like we wanted to, we could pay the subscription to remove it. It's
Okay,
so the platform is for an individual, it's $12 a month, which is still stupid cheap compared to what we've been doing.
right,
And it's set up the same way that StreamYard is. You just set up the stream, you invite the people. I mean, so I don't know. I think this might be the way we go. Plus, it gives you a 14-day trial. So,
right. Well, I'll tell you what, this is, I mean, as far as mind of things, this has been so glitch free compared to what StreamYard was. I
yeah,
mean,
like the first few minutes where it's like buffering and glitchiness, I haven't seen any of that.
yep. No, I
It's been
like
smooth.
this.
Yeah, this is good. I really don't mind that little trademark in the corner either. For now, I don't know. I might look into. I mean, $12 a month isn't that bad.
That's comparatively, no, it's
Yes.
nothing. It's a pittance.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody that's been tuning in, we appreciate you. Sorry that we've all been kind of MIA with these shows because we've been kind of trying to figure out where we're going with this. But I think we might have found. I think this might be the way we go. Honestly. So. All right, man. Everybody. Until next time, we will see you later.